can make me host and I can do it if you don't want to convert. Oh, she's doing it. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to Team Training. It is the 7th of November. So thank you everyone for jumping on tonight. Just a couple of things I wanted to share with you. I want to share first and foremost, I'm not sure if you saw my live on the team page today, but I have just made a little tweak to the way I do my follow-ups, which is having some good success and people responding, which is nice, right? Because how many times do you follow up and you see the people read the message and then they do not reply to you, and you send them a message and say, hey, I'm not sure if you've seen my message, like you know they have, but it's just the way. So I wanted to share that with you because it's a little win, and it might be a bit of a 2 seconds of courage for some of you, but basically what I have been doing is from two different angles. So firstly is a week ago I did a post in a couple of community pages just sharing the picture of the roast vegetable frittata, and just did the normal post about trying to get, people curious and interested. If you want the recipe, PM me. And obviously from there took it into Messenger. Now, every single one of those I friend requested. There was probably about 10. And I would say 8 out of the 10 accepted my friend request, which was quite good actually. Sent them the message with the recipe, and a lot of people just messaged back and said, thanks, looks really yummy. And I just left it at that. When I was doing you guys hopefully are all using this tracker, okay, which is in Freestyle. I think actually it's probably in our files tab as well. I put them all on my tracker because I thought, well, I'm just going to do kiss, kiss, hug and follow that process. And when I got to the point of looking at some of them, they actually hadn't posted on their Facebook page for like a month. And I'm like, well, I can't really go and like, because that's a bit random. They know that I've been going through their Facebook page. So I kind of got a little bit creative and I sent them a voice message through Messenger. And I just reached out and said to them, so say it was Tanika, I'd be like, hey Tanika, hope you're well, just touching base. I sent you the frittata recipe last week. Hope you've had a chance to cook that. Would love to know, did the family love it? Did you need to tweak anything? What was your feedback? And I'm not sure if we're friends on Facebook, but I'm going to be adding more recipes on my page from our JBT program. And the reason I said JBT program is it's going to get them curious of like, what's this JBT program? And I just think the recipes will resonate with you. So if you want to, follow those and get more value, feel free to send me a friend request, and I'll accept you and you can see all those recipes. I had so many people message back and just say, thanks, Kylie, that, just whatever, all different messages, but they tried the recipe. If they're going to send me, I've sent you a friend request, can you accept it so that I can get these recipes? And so I think it was great in the way that with Messenger, when you're typing, there's no connection there, right? There's no getting to know you, building that rapport. And I think we all know there's a person behind that. But I think when you send a voice message, the massive difference is it's like, oh, it's a real person I'm actually talking to. And the biggest thing was when I was following up with people that I had sent a link to a few days ago, a message did exactly the same with them, as opposed to sending them a message, which we would normally do, saying, hey, just touching base, I sent you a link a couple of days ago, would love to know what got your interest, I'm here to help you answer any questions, all that kind of stuff. I did exactly the same, but through a messenger. And the response was so much more, people not voice messaging me back, but they sent me a typed message back saying, hey, Kylie, so sorry, I've had some major personal issues on the weekend, I will get to it in the coming days, apologies, I haven't had a chance yet. They were actually apologising to me that they hadn't had a time to look at it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's a little bit of a win. I know that we all know follow-up is so important, but we all know it can be challenging sometimes to get people to actually reply to us. And I think that with a voice message, you can use so much more tone that you can't get across in a normal text message. They can't get your passion. They can't really feel you, all of that kind of stuff. So feel free to do that. I know it's probably going to be a challenge for some people because some things like that are out of your comfort zone, but it's literally like that 1, 2, just do it, just go. And you'll feel so much better afterwards. Don't rehearse it, because if you rehearse it, I remember when we were doing our videos for our opt-in page, when you rehearse it, you feel like, oh no, I'm off track, and you get lost and you don't say it how you wanted to. So just be raw, be real. I mucked up a couple of times and said the wrong word. I can't remember what I said, but I was like, oh, sorry about that. And I just laughed. It's because it's real, right? So hope that helps you guys out a little bit with something new to add into, you know, how you do your follow-ups, because it's certainly being a benefit to myself.
Kylie, so, can I quickly add something to that? That I figured out, and I'm not sure if you're aware or if anyone else is aware. When you're sending a voice message and you've got your finger down on the microphone, there's actually a little cross above when you're sending your message. You know how there's a little image and it shows you when your time's nearly up for the 1 minute. Just above that there's a cross, and if you keep your finger on that while you're recording and then say you stuff up or you say the wrong thing, don't take your finger off the recording, keep it recording, but then you can just push the cross and that cancels the whole message and you can start again.
Oh my God, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I figured that out a couple of weeks ago. So that's the, you know, so you do get a second chance. If you stuff it out, you can just press that cross and then start again. So just so
I've just sent you a fake voice message, Neve, just trying to practice. So how, like if I've got my finger on there now, if as soon as I take the cross out, it sends it to you. But if I press the cross, it doesn't work.
Yeah, so the trick is, as soon as you take your if you're recording and as soon as you take your finger off, it sends it automatically. But if you keep your finger on there and you don't take your finger off, and then just with your other hand, it's a bit tricky, you can push the cross and then it'll cancel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So disregard my last 2 voice messages because they're practical.
Okay.
There you go. We all learn something new every day. That's so good. And if you want some tips on how to do that, just reach out. You know, I don't know if you can send voice ones across, but maybe if you can. Do you know if you can share that? If I can send a voice thing that I've sent someone else to you or something? Do you know if you can do that? I haven't tried.
Can you share a voice message? Yeah, you can. Yeah, the same as a message. There's a little arrow there.
So if anyone wants some tips on how, like what I've actually done, you know, I can put that, obviously send it across to you if you want a bit of guidance on, you know, what, not that I'm perfect or anything, but just what I've shared and what's been working for me. So is there any more questions around that, or anyone that wants to add something to it that you've found that's working for you lately around that? No? Cool. So the main focus of tonight was talking about goal setting, as we are already 1 week into November. How crazy is that? And I don't know if you guys have seen some things that Celine's been sharing, is that a lot of people at this point of the year, if they haven't achieved their goals, they're kind of putting it off. Well, not putting it off, but going, oh, well, I didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve this year. I'll reset in January, and they're kind of not getting into any more action for the rest of the year. When we actually take a look at it, there is probably 7 weeks or something left of the year that we still have to be able to reach out. And if I wanted to do this before I got on the call, but say there's 7, we go 6 weeks, right? If there's 6 weeks left, I am personally myself at the moment and reaching out to 5 people a day, okay? So if I do that over the 7 days, 7 5s, 35, if I times that by 6, I'm actually going to speak to over 200 people by the end of the year. So, you know, that is so impactful. Like maybe if you only reach out to half of that, it's over 100 people. And you do, like everyone's like, I don't have the time, or I don't know enough people. There is so many people out there. There is so many ways to add more people to your page. And I'm actually going to, if I forget, because I haven't got on my little thing here, is talk to you a little bit about attraction marketing, which I've sort of changed my strategy a little bit of late, that Shani's been helping me with, which has been quite effective as well. But think about that many people that you're going to start talking to. Maybe they may not come to fruition now, but imagine how much growth and what will happen in the beginning of 2018 if you planted over 200 seeds in the last 6 weeks of this year. You know, so don't discredit that if you haven't achieved your goal just yet, that you can't achieve it this year. maybe it's not the ultimate goal. Maybe you can achieve something a little bit smaller than that, and think about how you'll feel if you do achieve a goal. Maybe you need to reset it and go, you know what, maybe that's not going to happen. That's okay, you know, but maybe I can achieve this. And just achieving something, how that makes you feel. Like I can imagine how amazing Tracy Switzer, that's how you say your surname. I've never said her surname, but imagine how she feels right now. She's freaking kicking goals, right? How much action is she going to be in for the rest of the year? Because when you get that action happening in the momentum, you start to feel amazing. And I'm sure it's not from the last week. She's probably been planting those seeds for a long time. Maybe some of those people she spoke to months and months ago, and they've only just come to fruition now. Okay, so just think about, you know, what you can do, I guess, in the next 6 weeks. But one thing I love Celine shared was, you know, trying, if you know, obviously setting your goals. If you haven't set your goals already for this month, then what are you actually going to achieve? Probably nothing, if we're being real, and a bit of tough love there. You know, if you don't set yourself up, like you should all be, I don't have mine here, but I set myself up at the beginning of the month of who can reach DVF, who can reach SDVF, who can reach SC. You know, maybe you're only just new in this business and you don't have all those team that can reach different goals. Maybe it's how many customers are you going to achieve this month? You know, what is your customer goal to just survive in this business? You know, if you want to earn $300 a month, how many customers do you have to get if you're new in this journey, you don't have any team? How many customers is that to survive at that level? Do you know what that actually is? Or do you just go by the month, reaching out and following up and hoping that something all falls into place? When you have that goal and that clear vision of exactly what you want to achieve, it's amazing what you actually will achieve. And then being measurable and realistic on your goals. You know, there's no point, I did this at the beginning of the year, like NMD was happening for US conference. Everyone probably knows my story when I crashed and burned because I didn't achieve it. But if I look back, I'm actually glad I went on that journey. I'm glad I had that moment because I can share it with you guys. And it was just something that in my head, I wanted to walk the stage in April as an NMD, you know, but it wasn't achievable and it wasn't measurable and it wasn't realistic goal. Like the goal was so far out, and it's probably Adam Westwick is always like, you can do it, you can achieve it this month. Tanika's had so many of those conversations with him, like, it's done. Like you're sitting there and he's like, you need 20K pay line jump next month. It's done. It's like, Adam, that's 200 customers. Yeah, it's done. I'm like, I don't know, so he probably set me up a little bit for that, but he always pushes me to strive for that, you know, but maybe I should have just been a bit more realistic and measurable of my goal. You know, so think about, I was on some calls with new prospects today and what they wanted to achieve, and it comes back to that is what do you actually want to achieve and what are you going to put into this, and are they in alignment? Because if you want to create $500 to $1,000, for example, in a month, and you want to spend half an hour every Sunday, you're probably not going to achieve that goal unless you're very lucky. And if you are lucky one month, the chance of continuing to be lucky is highly unlikely because luck does not continue. It's action and getting into momentum and consistency is where you're going to get that success from. So the thing that Celine shared, which was just something for me because I've been so focused on structure and team, that was like customers haven't been a high priority, and I'm like, I'm going to get a few new customers now. So it was a simple thing of promote to DVF, you know, and you might think, oh, I don't think I can do that. What's DVF? It's 3 premium orders. Now, I think most of us on this call have got to DVF before. So if you've got to DVF, then you can do it again. What did you do to get there in the first place? What things did you put into place? What kind of headspace were you in at the time? What was your beliefs like? All those kind of things. I love that Celine shared is how many times do you want to get to DVF in the month? And if we think about it, when we come into this business, our focus is on DVF in 10 days. So you can do, if you think about it every 10 days, you know, she was talking about 3 times of DVF in a month. Now, if you think about Tanika for last month, she had 9 new customers. Right? They weren't all premium customers, but she probably did DVF a couple of times, right? Because she went out and she had focus and clarity and vision of what she actually wanted to create. So I'd encourage each of you, maybe it's something simple like that, is I'm just going to re-promote to DVF this month. Like, that is so simple. How many people do you need to speak to? What's your kind of conversion? Like, if you, 1 in every 3 people that you speak to says yes, and you want to re-promote to DVF, then you probably need to speak to 9 people, okay, to get your 3 premium orders. So it's just reverse engineering it and thinking back. Maybe you don't know your numbers. Maybe it's a time to start thinking about how many actually people do I speak to before I get a yes? Because if you know that, it's a bit more exciting in the month to know, well, I want to put 1 new team member on this month, and I know I spoke to 10 last month and I got 1. So I know I need to do at least that this month. You know, it gives you a bit of an idea of what you need to do in the month to create, you know, the success that you want. And then if you're in the business as been here for a while and you have some team, is what team can you reach out to help them achieve their goals this month? You know, if you're at a leadership role and you have team underneath you, you should always at the beginning of the month be looking at your reports and seeing who can achieve what this month and reaching out to them. Now, the way to reach out to them is, I guess the most inspiring is showing them what's on the table, as opposed to saying, hey, do you want to reach East DVF this month? I think it can happen. As opposed to, hey, I'm not sure if you're aware, there's a potential of $400 in bonuses plus work out whatever it is in retail on the table this month. Is that something you'd like to achieve? When they come back to you and say yes, that's when you say, they're going to say yes, right? They want that money. They're going to say yes to that. And how they'll say yes, but how is the most common thing. Because they've probably got a bit of a, I don't know how I'm going to create that. I'd love it, but I don't know if it's possible. And that's when you say, would love to jump on a call with you and I can show you what needs to happen. I'm here to support you 100%. When is best for you, AM or PM? And get them on a call. It's not then messaging them the whole big Bible of what they need to do to pick up that $400 bonus, because it's probably going to scare the hell out of them and make them think that their exact belief they had is true, which it's not. But if you can get on a call with them and be face-to-face like this with Zoom, it's so much more powerful, and you can obviously help work through their objections, their excuses, their limiting beliefs, all those other things in that call as well. So I hope that helps you guys with setting a bit of a clear vision on what you know, is possible and what you actually want to achieve and tick off by the end of this month. You know, think about how you're going to feel if you achieve something in this month. You know, set something that's achievable, that's realistic. It's such an amazing feeling, and you'll get that belief back in yourself. I've actually got this. I can nail this, you know, and it's an amazing feeling. So I hope you guys are okay. I would love to share my screen if I can get that to work. I'm not really good with technology. Might need Tracy to help me if I get stuck. But would you guys like to watch the 4-minute video that I watched today, or would you like to do some Q&A first?
I'll just see if I can make you host, because I don't think you can share your screen unless you're host.
Yeah.
What was the 4-minute video? Sorry, Kylie, I was on the wrong Zoom link. I suck.
It was Darren Hardy shared about break the tape, and he basically talks about this Olympic like a champion runner that was like 80 to 90% of the race. He was always winning. He was always in front and achieving his goal of winning. But the last 10 to 20%, he turned around and looked over his shoulder, and that's when he always lost the race. Because when you're looking behind, you're focusing on what's behind you and you're not focusing on the front. So the whole video is about at the end of the race, he says, do you know what you did wrong? And he's like, no. And he tells us about looking over your shoulder. And next time, I want you just to focus on breaking the tape, because we know if you win the race, there's a tape, and it's just focusing on what's in front of you. It's actually quite a cool 4-minute video. Some of it talks about people are afraid of being alone and winning. And it's like, we're not alone in this business. That's a little bit off our path. But the concept of it is short, powerful, but it, yeah, I quite liked it. Celine shared it with us.
Okay, cool. I think, I don't know about anybody else, but obviously I have done things the very slow way. And so whenever we talk about bonuses and reaching certain levels and all that sort of thing, I always switched off because I was always slow track. And so for me, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way, I was never really able to set myself goals because and I look up here at the moment because all I've got on my wall is the freedom plan, the fast track plan, and all this sort of stuff. And so I don't know if anybody else feels the same. And if nobody feels this way, then we can take it. I'm happy to have this conversation off screen. But I guess setting some goals for people who are chipping away would be really helpful because, if you miss your first or second or third, goals or targets, I guess for me now, I'm sort of going. I can say I've been there. I know that feeling, but you can get there still. If we could talk about that a little bit, I don't know if that's too off topic or if we want to do that next week. But I just thought I'd ask.
No, I think that's absolutely amazing, Trace, and I love that. And I actually. I won't share too much into individual people, but I was looking at Tanika's reports today for her with going to NMD, and I just had a look at her team and was like, there is so many of you guys in this team that can do exactly what Tracy's just done is SC, cumulative, and it's like that's a massive achievement. And you can't get wrapped up in the $600 bonus. Like, I'm sure right now Tracy's not looking going, oh my God, I achieved SC and I got a new SDVF and I went through club, but I didn't get a $600 bonus. It's irrelevant right now, right? Because you're like, I've got this and I can do this. So it's coming back to not being so focused. I would actually encourage you to take down the fast track. I actually don't have it anywhere in my office at all. It's in a folder. I would get rid of it because I don't think that is going to inspire you. That is not going to inspire you to get into action and create what you really want because it's not related to what you actually want to achieve in your life. None of those fast track freedom goals, like bonuses, are related unless you've got something next to it that relates to when I achieve this is what it means to me. It's actually irrelevant and it's probably going to not inspire you at all and probably take you out of action. So personally, I wouldn't even
jump in for a sec too, Kylie.
Yeah.
It's really it's a bit confusing at times too because when you jump on the phone to head office, they really push like a restart so you can get those bonuses. And then you're in sort of two minds of, oh, well, shit, like, I didn't get whatever bonus it may be. But I think they put more emphasis than what's potentially necessary because, again, if you're going to base this business on your $600 or your $1,200 or your $1,500 bonus, then clearly you're looking at the short term and not eventually what it could be long term for you. But that's something that I've found without fail every time I get on the phone, it's, oh, well, you must do a restart. You know what I mean? And it's not that big of a deal, but then you start playing, like telling yourself a story as to, well, shit, maybe I should. Is it that big of a deal? It seems to be.
Yeah, and I want to share that I actually wouldn't be probably even talking to head office about that sort of stuff, to be honest. I'd be reaching out to your upline, and I honestly think that a restart is a conversation between the upline and the team member as to what they want to achieve and what they want from this. To some people, say you're going for SC and you can do it cumulative, right? And that can be ticked off now. If they've got 20, 30 customers, it actually makes a load of sense because they're leaving a lot of money on the table every single month that they're not picking up. And this business is more than bonuses. Bonus money is now money. Kira Westwick didn't get her SC bonus. I don't think she cares about her SC bonus right now. So it's not relevant. But I think it's when I have someone reach out to me about restarting. I had one of the New Zealand team ask me it today, and she said, I think we need to do a restart so she can go to DVF and get a $100 bonus. And I said, I don't even think we need to have a conversation around this. Because is this business, did you get into this business for $100? Is that what you got into this business for? And if you did, then certainly we can restart you. But I want to look at long term of where you're actually heading, what your goals are, and then we can look at a restart. I'm not jumping in and just doing a restart. If it matches up and it's all in the line and that's really important to them, then yes, but I don't think it's the end of the world. And I think it's that conversation between each individual, whether a restart is the right thing for them or not. It's going to be different for everyone on that journey. And I don't think teams should be pressured either with that, or like lots of emphasis put on that. You know, I think it's one of those conversations I always look at it, and if it's possible, say, hey, I'm not sure if you're aware, but I've noticed in the last 30 days you've had XYZ happen. If it's important to you, we could do a restart and you could pick up $400 if you had 2 more customers in the next 10 days or something like that, you know. But I wouldn't be putting emphasis, hey, you know, we can do a restart at any time, let's get you in some action and try and make that happen. It's not inspiring to them. So it's really about identifying it at the time when you notice it's kind of happened. And I really don't have a conversation around restart hardly at all, you know, with any of my team. Some of them do bring it up with me, and I have the conversation at the time more around what they want, what their goal is, you know, stuff like that. But I guess for yourself, Tracy, going back to that as well, is with your visions, and I personally just don't have anything around bonuses in my goals and my vision, because the money in this business does not come from levels, does not come from bonuses. It comes from the passive, the commission part of it. Okay, so everything in my life is based around that. And I have a bit of a thing, when I earn this much money per month, this is kind of what it will give me in life that we're not having right now. When I earn this much per month, this is what it's going to enable me to have. So my vision board and all of that is more based around that, as opposed to anything relating to bonuses. So I hope that helps a little bit. Does that?
Yeah, I think it's for, I guess, because I was in a position, just for anybody else who wants to know, I was SDVF, I think I counted for 16 months. So if you want to know what it's like to be stuck, there it is. So, you know, and it's not until I guess I've made this next shift that I've understood the commission side of it, when I've actually, and poor Katie's had me on the phone and I'm like, what does that mean? What's that money there for? What's this? And I guess for anybody who's SDVF or below, just keep chipping away and you will, you know. And I guess also now, 18 months on, I'm able to teach people learn how to teach people better faster, because even if you've missed your bonuses, you can help them get to their bonuses, which means you're going to get your teaching bonus. So you will see those. If you want to chase those bonuses, you can still do that early on. But the commission, I guess I didn't understand, and I had no vision around that, because I had no idea what it actually looked like until I saw it 3 days ago. I guess it didn't mean anything to me. So I don't know if anybody else feels the same, that it's like, oh, I just don't get it. But again, I'm not a numbers person, so.
Maybe, I know qualifying is such a hard thing, and there's so much shared around it all the time, like especially in Start Strong with Adam about qualifying your business and the importance of qualifying. But it is probably one of the hardest things in the whole of this business to get your head around. I completely get where you're at. I'm a numbers girl, and I struggled with that in the beginning. And there's actually, now you're unlocking another level of qualification, Tracy. So just when you only got your head around that one 3 days ago, I'm sorry, hun, but Tanika and I butted our heads together for so long to figure out this next level, because our clients actually couldn't help us explain it. They couldn't explain it to us. And we were like, what does this mean? But thankfully for you guys, Nika and I now actually understand it, and it's a whole nother level of qualification. But I guess that shows the importance of you guys really constantly plugging into that, qualifying your business, maybe listening to it over and over and over again. I know Tanika was one of those as well, when she's like, I just don't get it, Kylie. Like, can you explain it to me again? When I was like, it's all right. I actually had to do this with Adam probably 100 times too. And I think everyone is exactly the same. So just watch it over and over until you get it. And I don't think there's an easy way to explain it. Like, now I explain it, I think it sounds simple, but it sounds simple because I get it. I guess anyone that doesn't get it, it doesn't actually make sense.
Can I say the biggest thing for me, Kylie, is when I was hearing over and over and over again, unlocking the beach money. You'll unlock the beach money. You'll unlock the beach money. And it wasn't until I actually had a Zoom call with you and found out what the beach money actually is, that a lot of people probably don't know,
And it's actually 4% of the 1,800 or whatever you do go over. So that, to me, because I am a maths person, made a hell of a lot of difference. So what that means is it's $72 minimal that you'll be getting extra depending how many clubs you've got underneath you.
Yeah, I remember that call where you had to go.
So that makes a lot more sense than saying unlocking the beach money, because that's nothing. So there's probably a lot of people that don't get that either.
See you, Trace. Yeah, no, I remember that call. So, and you're like, I'm so sorry, I just don't get it. And we're on the call for ages, but you got it in the end. And that was the importance, because now you totally understand the value behind it.
Yeah.
Nick, did you make me were you able to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so somehow I got to share my screen. Share screen. There's a button there. It says it. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully you can actually hear it as well. Let's see. Yeah?
Yeah, all good.
So good morning. Well, here we are, the final 55 days of the year. You have gone the distance. Over 300 days down, you have invested a massive amount of time, energy, and effort, and sacrifice and dedication to put yourself in position. Even if you're not out in front of your goals, you are still in a position to win. But it will be this last leg that will determine if your entire year ends as a success or as you hobble across the finish line at the back of the pack. That difference will be determined right now, right in this moment, right here, this morning. Lose another week or two, and you will be too far behind to even recover. So my friends, will you dig deep, double down, and put that last kick to overtake your competitors and summit your goals? Are you ready to give this year your last big kick? To do so, here's what I want you to fixate on: breaking the tape. You see, this is the advice a visiting Olympic coach gave a promising young runner while running track in college. He was an extremely talented sprinter, but regardless of his talent, effort, or hard work ethic, he was still losing his competitions, consistently placing second. He would lead the entire race, yet still get overtaken in the final stretch. He tried various approaches, but nothing seemed to work. He grew extremely frustrated. By the way, this might be the way you feel about achieving some of your big goals. You work really hard, you're really dedicated, you put in tons of effort, you still fall short once you cross that finish line on December 31st. So during one meet, there was this well-known Olympic track coach in the stands. Once again, this young runner placed second. The coach approached the runner and said, "You have first place ability and you put yourself in place of effort and commitment, but you finished second. Do you know why?" "No," he exclaimed in frustration. The coach continued, "I've watched several of your races, and every one you're ahead for 80 to 90% of the race. Then just as you are about to win, you make the fatal mistake. You look over your shoulder, and that's when somebody overtakes you." He said, "The next time you run, focus only on the end. Just fixate on breaking the tape. Forget what's happening behind you. Winners can't be afraid that they're out in front and alone." You see, what happens is, when you look over your shoulder, you switch your attention from the positive goal of winning to the possibility of someone overtaking you. When your brain circuits swing towards this fear, it affects your motor circuits and slows you down. When you focus your brain only on breaking the tape rather than outrunning the challengers, you are telling your brain circuits to maintain your pace and finish strong. You no longer register information of what is behind you, but you gain the possibility only of victory by staying focused on the goal. The very next race, the young runner won, and he kept on winning. He even ended up becoming an Olympian and competed in the 1996 Olympic Games. The lesson that coach gave him not only helped the young man as a runner, but it also helped me ever since my Olympic champion friend told me this story many years ago. The lessons I learned are this. Number one, the race is won or lost in the final push. All your hard work all year could get flushed down the drain in the last 2 months and 2 weeks. Number two, during that final push, Focus only on one thing, breaking the tape. Don't let the crowd or even the competitors at your back fracture your focus, or the hysteria of holiday plans and parties fracture your focus. Your body will follow your eyes. Keep a maniacal focus on breaking the tape. Right, Nate? What are you doing to keep a maniacal focus on breaking the tape to finish this year out strong? I want you to share your ideas and thoughts in the comments below.
So I hope you all got something from that video. I thought it was quite powerful. I was able to convert it over into, our business of, how often do we get trapped by looking behind, getting caught up in all of the noise that's going on around us. It's focus. I love that. Just focus on breaking the tape. It's so simple, yet it was so effective. Does anyone want to share anything around what they got from that video with us?
I think basically, like, you're running your own race. You can't compare yourself to anyone else because everyone's journey is totally different. And if you do look behind or in front or whatever, that's when you get distracted and when you're not focusing on yourself. So I think you just need to stay focused on you.
Exactly. It's so true. So has anyone got any Q&A or anything that they want to cover? Actually, one thing I do want to cover before we jump off, I haven't put it in the Team Believe page, but Tanika and I decided that we're going to keep on running this. We're going to go back to running this every week. I know we did go to like the first Tuesday of the month, but we just thought we need to keep connecting and keep that culture, amazing, supportive, smaller group that we have. Like, I know we've got Adams every single week, but it's such a massive, like 400 people on the other night. You don't get that Q&A, that intimate, I guess, and that safe place, like to be able to really open up and go, hey, I have a question. So if you put your hand up, you probably don't even get noticed because there's 400 people on the call. So we are going to keep this going every week. So I will do one week, Nick will do the next. But guys, if there's anything at all that you want covered, like I love that Tracy tapped into that a bit tonight because we're growing as well. We're just learning along our journey, and sometimes it's like, what do we cover tonight? What do they actually need? I never thought so much about what Tracy kept, shared tonight. Like, that was so amazing, but I'd never thought about covering anything around that. So you guys have so much valuable information to share with us, and there's obviously challenges and things like that you're coming up against, because if you weren't, then you'd all be like going promotion after promotion after promotion. So there's obviously different challenges going on, and just message and say, hey, I would really love for you guys to cover this tonight, or Adam touched on this. Would you guys talk on it a bit more on our smaller group or whatever? Because I think it'll really help us as well to be able to serve you guys, because that's what this is all about, us being able to serve you. And it's also helping us grow as well, as individuals on this journey. So yeah, hopefully you can all jump on each week and get some value from it too. Awesome.
Thanks heaps, guys. That was great. Thanks, Kylie.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.